What up, deadbeats? We are at the third act, the final act of our Hero's Journey trilogy. I appreciate you guys for tuning into all the other readings here. And before we dive into that, I do want to promote a few more events and things that we've got going on. A friendly reminder, if you are in the Richmond area, that I will be hosting this weekend, August 17th. That is this Saturday, starting at noon, with my good buddy Lydia James, owner of Passion Project, our Summerween birthday bash. We would love to see you guys there if you haven't heard me talk enough about it or blowing up your feed all over Instagram and things here. But we're really excited for it. This is a big fundraiser for both of us. We also have a lot of artists, vendors, what have you, selling their wares, selling their services. So we would love to see you guys come out and support them as well. It is a $10 admission, but that does come with a free tarot reading voucher from yours truly here. You can either use that at the event, catch up with me. I'd love to see you guys there and do some readings for you. But if you want to save it for later, that's perfectly fine. It's always I offer my digital readings. We can always meet up for a cup of coffee or a drink or something like that too. It's a perfect excuse for me to reconnect with people because I do like to use my birthday as an excuse to connect with all my friends, family, loved ones, business partners, what have you. That is what that is. So again, that starts at noon. That's a $10 admission. Does again come with a reading from yours truly, and Lydia's supplying some treats and wonderful gifts and things along with that as well. We do encourage coming in costumes or at least Summerween attire if you want to combine some summer with some spooky, what have you. But again, that is not mandatory. We just want you guys to jump in on the fun with us and make it a little more exciting. So we're not the only two wearing costumes mostly, but we'd love to see you guys there. After that, I do have on August 22nd, I'm going to be back over at the Unhappy Hour, Miserable Time from 6 to 9. It's a punk rock theme here, so I'd love to see you guys there. Working for my tips and donations for readings there, so you can technically get sort of a discount, or at least name your own price for those readings. And we really want to pack those events. It's always great seeing new faces, old faces, what have you. And if you're a Poe fan, it's certainly not one to miss there as well. Then on August 24th, I am back with the RVA Moon Market. We're going to be over at Stone Brewery, one of my favorite spots to be doing a lot of these events and markets at. It's a music theme, so it's the Music Moon Market, if you will. That's going to start at noon. Again, Stone Brewery, August 24th. I would love to see you guys there at that one as well. I always appreciate the love and the support at those events there, too. They're very well attended. Again, there's a lot of other great artists and things there, so get to shop and have a little bit of fun. Splurge yourself during a little bit of Leo season if we're just outside of that there, but good chance to doll yourself up and have a good time there. Last but not least, I will be back over at River City Roll again, and that's going to be on August 29th for 804 Fest. Right now, the time for that is starting at 5 p.m., but I've been told that might be subject to change, so stay tuned for any details there, and follow River City Roll for all those details. So yeah, and hit me up if you're interested in being a vendor. I think they still have some spaces available. That is a free event too. So if you're looking to get your vendor stuff out there too at a very affordable rate, you can't beat free. The only thing better than free is someone paying you to be there, which, hey, if you're making money, you technically are getting paid to be there. But either way, hit me up if you'd love to be a part of that too, and I can connect you with the event coordinator and things over there. All right, now that I have rambled about all these events here, let us jump right back into the hero's journey, and we're going to do a wonderful recap since we've done 2 segments, and you can check out those videos below. I highly recommend going back and watching those for some greater detail. But a friendly reminder, your world card, your existence is the King of Pentacles, reminding you that you're in charge of your own kingdom there, that you are the king of the castle, and the pentacles represent money, abundance, fortune, success, fashion, things along those lines. So never forget that you are this king and that you're starting things off on that good, strong footing there. And your call to action is the 4 of Cups, which, as we know, can be sort of that crying over spilled milk, if you will. If you notice this person is looking off into the distance, whether they're depressed about something, they're longing for something more, or just sort of feels like a piece of the puzzle's missing, but do not forget that shining little rainbow that's shining outside of that extra cup that we're not looking at. So keep an eye out for these opportunities things, so we're not dwelling on old feelings or nostalgia or things that we might have missed, because then we'll just continue to miss other things, and that's going to create a vicious circle for us, don't you think? All right, then we have are refusing the call. This is our Ace of Swords here, which may represent a new perspective, new ideas, new ways of looking at things. So that can come with a little bit of trepidation there, some nervousness, some anxiety, imposter syndrome, things along those lines. But don't let it stop us from embarking on a wonderful, powerful adventure, especially when we have a mentor in our corner who can teach us things, offers lessons, new outlooks, new perspectives, new opportunities, develop our skills, balance our light and our dark side, the health and exercise and things that come with the shadow work, as well as the optimism, the focus, the light that comes with the light side of things there too. And we'll feel as perched and poised and full speed ahead as this individual on top of the chariot. Once we have completed that level with the mentor and feel like we're ready to cross the threshold, we have our 10 of Pentacles, which represent abundance, real manifestation, hard-won, hard-earned opportunities. This goes beyond the thoughts, feelings, and ideas, but actually manifesting these things into reality. And it is associated with family, so don't hesitate to embark on things, whether you're creating a new family, a new reality, a new existence for yourself, new friendships, things along those lines. But just remind yourself that this big step is only going to enhance and fortify this kingdom, this community that you build. And a lot of good things can come from that. Once we have crossed into the threshold, we find ourselves at the test phase. Extra challenges. These come with enemies. This come with allies. Think about the things that are serving us. Think about the things that are not serving us. Think about all of the things that come part and parcel with that. And with this 7 of Cups here too, it is about making sure all those lofty feelings, a lot of those lofty thoughts, those pie in the sky things, for better or worse, whether they're the enemies, whether they are the allies, that we need to ground ourselves, especially when we're working with this King of Pentacles, starting with that. We need to plant our feet back firmly on the ground. Take a look at what's real. Take a look at what's actually manifesting, so we're not bogged down specifically by the things that haven't yet come to pass, or else they might just come to pass because we're creating that reality for ourselves instead of just doing the work, keeping our eyes on the prize, and recognizing that good things will come, but also bad things will come. And it's okay, because as long as we keep pushing forward, we're going to keep finding that good stuff here. After we've dealt with these tests and challenges, we face the inmost cave. A lot of our subconscious fears, worries, nightmares, a lot of these things that sort of just kind of come with that. And this 5 of Cups represents emotional waters, a lot of conflict, whether that's internal, external, what things we got excited about, whether they're romantic feelings, whether they're jobs we're excited about, whether they're friends, communities, opportunities that we want to succeed as much as possible. Sometimes that pressure comes, or sometimes things upset those waters, and it becomes a challenge, but we do not want to remain in that cave forever. If Luke, using the Star Wars example, stayed in the cave and worried about becoming Vader and never did anything about it, who knows what state the galaxy would be in? Star Wars would just end with that second film, and we wouldn't have the exciting return of the Jedi where our heroes are once again victorious. It's scary, it's nerve-wracking, it's problematic, but I do believe in all of us, in every single one of us. Even if I haven't met you, I know we are all capable of big and powerful things, and we truly are the heroes of our own story, if you will. And then last but not least, we do have our ordeal. This is our 2 of Swords here, which can represent some big decision-making, being of 2 minds, if you want to pull in some two-faced metaphors there too. Reminding ourselves, what things do we need to cut out of our life? What things do we hold near and dear that we want to protect? Because never forget, the sword can pierce as much as it can protect. And taking our blindfold off and looking realistically at the situation is going to help us conquer this conflict, this ordeal, this challenging situation, the big showdown, as you will, within the hero's journey there. And I believe we can do it. And hell, even if we want to consider it with the blindfold on, we can rely on our other senses and really understand the ins and outs of this proverbial sword, so we decide what is best for us. Just some food for thought. All right, I will admit I do have the deck pre-shuffled here because we had a few recording issues getting this thing started here. So everything is pre-shuffled. Hope you can forgive me on that, but it does keep things moving here a little bit quickly. And so we're just going to jump right into these things from here. So I apologize you're not seeing me shuffle on camera, but again, this is a pretty railroaded focus with the reading anyways here too. But I do think tarot will show us what we need to see. So I hope you guys get some good lessons from all of this. But without further ado, After we've had our conflict, our ordeal, our big showdown, we receive the reward. And there is a prize for these challenges. That's the whole reason we go on these heroes' journey. It's like a quest to achieve something, to help someone, to help ourselves, to learn things, to develop and grow and become stronger. And this reward phase can sometimes be referred to as claiming the sword. And our reward is about as good as it gets. It's the end of the major arcana cycle. It is the world, which is a card of victory, success. It represents that closing of a cycle. And since this is major arcana, this is a big cycle. This is literally the world finishing its full rotation, a new day dawning, a new year beginning, however you want to look at it. And I love that this woman kind of looks a little like a dream catcher, if you can kind of see in there too. She's like at the heart of it with a lot of these, strings kind of running across it there. And I like to think that is us capturing or manifesting our hopes and our desires, our wants and our goals, because we have earned through these things. We've been through the hardships. We've learned the lessons. We've dealt with the challenges, and we owe it to ourselves to complete that cycle and give ourselves a reward. Maybe that reward sometimes is about just treating ourselves after a job well done with a little bit of ice cream or a movie night or a good, well-earned nap, getting some rest and things along those lines, or reminding ourselves of the world that we have built, the people around us, the community around us, the friendships, the job opportunities, the projects we've finished, all of these things. We can stop and take a look, and we can admire our work because we've put a lot of TLC into these things. And there's nothing wrong with taking a step back and patting ourselves on the back. We don't want to get a big head about it, especially during Leo season here, but it's okay to celebrate that victory. It's earned. It's well-deserved. There's a lot of good things that come with that. And I think we, like I said before, owe ourselves the chance to really relish this new tool, this new weapon that we bring with us. And maybe just knowing that we've earned this victory carries us forward, because, a sterling success and a strong resume can really, really help bolster those things for ourselves. Just reminding ourselves that we got the skills to pay the bills. All right, it says, I accept this gift of completion and I ascend to new levels of awareness and wholeness. I am love. I accept this gift of completion and I ascend to new levels of awareness and wholeness. I am love. One more time for good measure. I accept this gift of completion and ascend to new levels of awareness and wholeness. I am love. And sometimes the gift is just being done. It's just knowing that it's over, that it's ended, it's concluded. A new day will dawn ahead of us here too. And I also like to remind people that the judgment card falls before this, because I think it's very important to kind of look at what cards are before and after these things. And so the judgment card, especially in this light seer deck here, literally shows an individual, made of flesh and bone, just like you and me, a vessel, if you will. And there's this spirit just sort of like rising from them. Again, that I always like to use that image of a phoenix rising from the ashes. And I think that is us ascending to a higher plane, to nirvana, to peace, to a better version of ourselves, shedding off all those negative ways of thinking or toxic behaviors and things, so we can, use that judgment to make that conclusion, to decide where I'm going from here, so we can carry on and finish that cycle, and maybe even celebrate, because again, I think we've earned that. So, all right, moving on. After we've achieved this sword, we sort of have our road back. This is the road. This is the beginning of the return, with this new weapon. What am I doing with it? How am I using it? Where am I going? What's the next path? What's the next destination? And I do love this 10 of Swords showing up here for it. I think that is a really, really great, powerful card for this road back, because while in traditional tarot, and I do like to bring up that the 10 of Swords normally shows like a human pincushion. They're full of all these blades. They're on their last breath there. They feel like they've suffered as much as they can, pain, misery, overwhelming thoughts, depression, etc., etc. I do love an image that I took of killing off the old self. And I think that lends itself to this world card, that if we have completed the cycle, that we're not the same person we were. We've learned these lessons, we've developed these skills, we've created new opportunities, we've brought in new resources, people, ideas, thoughts, what have you. That's going to help facilitate that journey. That's us getting on our feet, taking a step back here. And if you notice this person, they're kind of looking into the sunset and moving forward, and we don't know what good things lie ahead or bad things, But it's exciting because it is just a total sense of newness, a complete reset, again, a different person altogether, a better version of ourselves. And it's not to say we were bad people per se, but we're just shedding off those things like a snake sheds their skin so they can kind of go down that new life, get those things off of us that are weighing us down, slowing us down, causing all those problems, because I think there is a good path ahead for us. And it does say, I am healing every day. I am healing every day. One more time, very simple message. I am healing every day. And I think as we come back with this new sword, this newfound victory, we remind ourselves, hey, even if there are good times, we are still going to be healing, whether it's on a micro level or a macro level. Healing, first aid, therapy, rest, taking time to take a stock of inventory, what have you. These things are all necessary. Because if we're just swirling around with all these anxious thoughts, because 10, again, is a number of abundance, we can have all those things looming overhead, all these sword or these images of, crows, ravens, blackbirds, even just birds, vultures, if you want to think of them too, anything on there that feels like it might be an impending doom. In the same way we can have our imagination fuel those things, we can also have it fuel these positive things. What have I done? What have I achieved? What more could I do? What action could I take? I am the hero of my own story, after all, and a hero needs that action. They need to take up their sword and charge down that road. And again, we've got the chariot as our mentor, so that's fueling that journey for us, as we're kind of making our moves, heading our way in that direction. But I do love that image. And again, we're healing every day. And so look for those opportunities to heal and grow. And sometimes it means we're overwhelmed by our emotion. We got to heal privately, kind of be like the Hulk, go away, retreat. And we'll find that way to return or make those moves. But it is a healing road back for us. All right. Now that we've gone down this road back, we're at a very, very, very powerful phase of the hero's journey. This is the rebirth. This is the resurrection. This is the real Phoenix energy. This is us coming back. This is our second win. This is our final fight, our last hurrah, our sip of proverbial coffee, if you will, giving us that extra little kick to get us back out there. And we have with us the Five of Swords here. We got the Five of Swords right over here. And this is a very challenging card because, 5, as I mentioned earlier, I do see as a number of conflicts, sometimes strife, problems, fighting, defending. And when you throw swords in the mix, that is kind of like a little, micro war, if you will, or macro war, depends how you want to look at these things here. But it is us taking up arms and defending what we've built. And sometimes we feel like a good defense is a great offense. But again, since this represents the swords, this is where we can embody these tactics, these ideals, these focuses. We can think smart, as opposed to working hard. We can think smart. We can make the best moves for ourselves. We can work through these things because typically if a conflict is arising, it's kind of that old squeaky wheel gets the grease. It means that there is something that requires our attention, whether it's something internally, whether it's something externally. If there's friction with a friend, then maybe you need to set aside some time to talk to each other. And I was even telling someone recently, I get with this a lot where people are like, I have to have a hard talk and I don't know how to present it. And they normally tell me everything, not always the full situation, but they tell me how they want to approach it, what the ideas that they want to get across. And 9 times out of 10, I'm like, just say that. You know what I mean? If you're literally saying, hey, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want to speak out of turn. I recognize that I have my faults and my problems, but this is something that I want to address, and how can we work through that? I'm not saying it's always going to go perfectly. I'm not saying everyone's going to respond appropriately to that, but knowing that you made that effort to avoid a big battle here altogether and just say, hey, what can we work on? What can we conquer together? What can we build and grow and communicate wise? We're going to realize these things. And if we are dealing with an individual that doesn't want to cooperate with us, then I think that also means the writing's on the wall. Maybe that is that time to say, hey, this isn't working for me. And, short of sending in a letter of resignation or adding some closure to the situation, you can just mostly sort of walk away from these things quietly. Keep your head held high. My problem is I let things fester, I let them boil, and I don't always handle them in the right terms. So sometimes I find myself in an emotional conflict, or I risk lashing out at people, and especially in a work environment, that's hard. It's very difficult to come back from that, even if you feel like you are justified. That sometimes friends, they have trouble forgiving or recognizing that. You in a particular position, and that can be hard, especially if you're not offering them perspective. They have a right to say that if they don't feel heard themselves, or feel like there is a level of maturity on these things. So I think it is about high roading it as much as possible on that. And do what you got to do, and feelings are going to do what they do, and we're going to react sometimes in the way that we react, and that just kind of is what it is. But I take a really good close look at this individual right next to the guy, with the big old migraine right there. There's this individual in the corner where this beam of light is radiating from them. And it brings me even back to that Four of Cups that we saw kind of as our call to action at the beginning there. If you look closely again, kind of like I pointed out, there is a little rainbow that's peeking out from this thing. And so maybe that is because these are both spectrums of light, something that's shining, powerful, this new energy, this new recharge. And that's rebirth energy in a nutshell. That's that resurrection, is maybe what we're looking for here in this call to action is finally becoming clear, or we're at least learning how to create that and make that real in our own terms. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Again, the Five of Swords is a very complicated, challenging card on there. But I do think if we put our heads together, or at least stop and think logically about these things, I think we can have that resurrection, that rebirth, or that ascension at least. All right, it says, the lessons move me ahead always. Oh, I love that. We're here for this hero's journey. We want these lessons because, well, we're not necessarily dealing with a real physical journey here, too. This is a mental journey, an emotional journey, a spiritual journey, a pragmatic journey. And with those lessons, those can inform and govern all of those skills and talents and resources and energies that we have built on this path down. And I think that's, again, I think that's a beautiful thing. All right. It says, the lessons move me ahead always. One more time. The lessons move me ahead always. And I hope it does continue to propel you. I hope it doesn't just become something we get bitter or upset or disappointed about. And these are all valid feelings, but we just can't live there. We can't dwell on those things. I mean, we can't ever be just one single emotion, even if it is joy, happiness, contentment, things along those lines. We're meant to feel that whole spectrum of emotions, work through all those things here. So, yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing. All right, let's move on to this elixir, if you will, or sort of the medicine that's right at the very end of the journey, kind of coming back. This is the true answer to that call, or the thing that helps us get back to a healthier stasis here. And I love this 10 of Cups, because especially if the 10 of Pentacles was our threshold, how do we cross this? How do we jump into this new way of thinking, this new life, this new reality, this new world, and conquer these things? And if we're coming back with an abundance of love, satisfaction, happiness, fulfillment, and just generally good things, I mean, this is one of my favorite cards because it's a card that's, hard to hate on. Again, I do believe the toxic positivity and things are out there, and it's hard not to look at people, living their joy and their bliss and having good things come their way without a little bit of envy on our ends. But knowing that we can create a loving family, a loving environment, a nurturing community with these lessons that we've learned, with these things that we've achieved here. I mean, I just think that is such a beautiful thing. I really love that all that has to offer. I mean, I wish I could sum up more for this card, but I think it just speaks for itself. It is that abundant love, that satisfaction, that happiness, fulfillment. If we remind ourselves on this road back that we are healing every day, and these things won't always exist. They will come and go. We will have highs, we will have lows. The lows will teach us lessons. The highs will give us that invigoration to kind of get back out there and keep doing things. But this is that stasis that we want to come back home to. This is what we want. This is what we're fighting for in the family or the community or the environment that we define by our own terms there. But God, I love it. I just think there's good things in there. What better way to end this journey, this elixir, than love? You know, might be a cliche, but I'm here for it, right? I live in a state of oneness by bringing harmony and love into my relationships. I live in a state of oneness by bringing harmony and love to my relationships. One more time for good measure. I live in a state of oneness by bringing harmony and love to my relationships. And I think that's great because if we're starting at this King of Pentacles here, and we're saying to ourselves, you know, I want a healthy, thriving, good kingdom on there too. That's great. Then we want to maybe look for that love. You know, if we're feeling lost or incomplete, we want to find those passions, find those things that we care about, those things that we hold near and dear. And even if we feel like it's not possible, or we have these worries, these doubts, these confusions, that's a problem there too, and that's fine. But we've got that chariot to keep us going, to decide, how can I get this balance and get back up on that horse and get out there. And then knowing that we dive into the family and the resources and the friends and the communities and work and projects and opportunities that we have. And then even if we get a little nervous, even if we're not sure what the next step is, even if we get good thoughts, bad thoughts on there, it's going to propel us further through these emotional waters and these conflicts. We're going to know what decisions to make for ourselves. We're going to know that we can succeed and come out on top. We're going to birth a new self, find a new journey, a new adventure. We're going to beat every conflict that comes our way, mental or otherwise. And we're going to create this abundant, loving community here. And isn't that a wonderful story for us? I love this. I'm sorry, I'm getting real sappy here too, but I think this is great, especially during Leo season. I'm a little biased again. It's my birthday season, and I love it. And if I can give a gift back to you guys for my birthday, I hope you find abundant love, generosity, support, the things that you're looking for in anything that you're doing. And if something's missing, hit me up. I do readings again, as you know. Digital readings are available starting at $10. I do $30 starting on Zoom. I have this one starts at $50, $75 on Zoom, just because it's a lot of cards and things here too. I'd love to see you guys this weekend, August 17th, at my birthday bash here too. Again, you can also catch me at the Poe Museum on the 22nd, or you can catch me at Stone Brewery on the 24th there, or at 804 Fest on the 29th. But, you know, if there's anything I can do for you guys, please do reach out here. I love you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, at Irish_wake_tarot or irishwaketarot@gmail.com. If you want to email me for anything, again, available for parties, weddings, events, things along those lines. Halloween season starting to ramp up for me, so get your bookings in. I'd love to see you guys there. Work any special events if you can. We can talk rates and things. And you know, if you want to keep seeing more of this stuff, please like and subscribe and tell your friends out there. I want to spread the love, and I'd love to make this my full-time career here if I get big cards, pardon the term, all on the table. But thank you guys for the continued support. Hope to see you guys around. I'll leave any notes in the comments if you want to share anything with me otherwise. And as always, sláinte.